I'm Carl, currently work for Les Mills. I used to work as the Customer Experience Director for the UK, but I now work across our global markets. And the UK team have invited me along to talk here today. First, it was originally one session, it's now 4. It's amazing. So I'm here to help out. So this is about how we unlock instructor talent with a new model as we just talked about, called the Bridge model. So I want to start by just giving a very, very quick overview of the state of group fitness today. Take you back February 2020, just before the pandemic hit. What was the state of group fitness at that point?
I would imagine it was quite strong.
Very, very strong. Think about the January joiners, class timetables were packed, operators were running, the biggest operators were running 70, 80, 90 classes every single week, high attendance levels, high instructor engagement. Pay is another matter, but there was lots of instructors out there delivering lots of classes for operators. Then the pandemic hit in 2020, and we found, particularly in the UK, so for Les Mills, we currently have just over 7,500 Les Mills instructors in the UK. Pre-pandemic, we had about 11,000 instructors working for us. What we found was about 11,000 instructors we had pre-pandemic. We're now about 7,500 instructors, certified instructors. Why did that drop off? Hobbyists suddenly had nowhere to teach. Aging instructors found that they were at the end of their teaching life cycle. I was one of them. I will admit I was one of them. I was teaching consistently.
No, I can't believe that.
I said aging. I didn't say old, Keith. I just said aging. But I was one that when you lose your regular class time slot, you find other things and people do drop out. So we found there was a big drop. And we also cleansed a lot of instructors, as members would do, like the sleeping dog approach. A lot of our instructors weren't purchasing releases, weren't remaining certified. So it was a bit of a cleanse. There's a bit of a house cleaning point there as well. But what we found with many operators, where they had this abundance of instructors pool that they could call upon, they no longer have that within the industry. And it's the number one challenge with many of the operators that I speak to around the world. Instructor recruitment is still the biggest challenge. Yes, sir.
Do you mind if I ask a question? So can I just say my background? I got in the industry teaching classes.
Yep.
And then obviously took testosterone and how much of this, when I go into clubs now, and I teach a group session on the gym floor.
Yep.
So I have a group skills.
Yep.
When I go into clubs, I see a lot of your virtual stuff.
Yes.
Would virtual be part of that drop-off in instructors? Because instructors, when they were teaching, that class is now replaced by virtual and maybe they got demotivated? Or is virtual to fill a gap in the day when it's not that busy but a class can still happen?
So I would love to say that virtual wouldn't have any impact on instructor recruitment. It has. It wasn't the intention for doing it. Our intention from launching virtual was to offer more classes at off-peak times to utilise the space. So most operators have a Group X space that is dormant 80% of their opening hours. Cycle studios being the worst ones.
Well, so what we're saying is, although the class timetable is full and class instructors are hard to come by, there's still gaps in the day.
Yes.
Virtual is replacing that in the studio.
Correct, yeah. So it's offering something in that space to utilise the space to get people engaged in activity. But we also saw virtual as a feeder into live classes. Because once you build confidence, once you build competence in that space, people then say, I'll do virtual because I know what the class is and I can go to an instructor-led class. So there's a degree of both. But when we come through to today, just stepping back to the story, there is a complete lack of instructors. The demographic profile has changed. What we found is where we would recruit and train instructors of a younger age group, that's definitely dropped off. The pandemic and online coaching and the want and need for training and coaching from mentors within the club, that's all dropped off. So there's a number of reasons why there's a huge lack of instructors. The other big reason as to why is the need for the certification or qualification to deliver group exercise at level 2 for many of the operators from an insurance and standards point of view. So many operators came to us and said, we'd love to run Les Mills in our facility, we love the programming, we don't have enough instructors, but we do have employees or members of staff that would love to train, but we're not going to put them through a level 2 cert. So how do we bridge the gap between those that want to train and the training that we have to get them up to a certain level. That's the intention behind it.
Really?
Yes, big need. So this is the operator's challenge, and there's 2 slides here. You can't really see it. It's a shame. It's a shame. There we go. The operator's challenge is, in many cases, you've got instructors out there that want to teach to a studio, but classes just aren't full. How do we get back to, this is pre-pandemic, one of our events, and there's just over 1,500 people in that class at one of the Les Mills events with instructors on stage. How do you create an aspirational experience for instructors to want to teach, whereas what we're seeing is that many instructors are out there and they're just not filling classes because of training, because of education, because of a number of different reasons. So you've got aspiring instructors versus a qualified instructor, and that's the gap that we want. There are people out there that want to teach classes, but how do you bridge the gap without necessarily going through the full journey and the qualification? Okay? So the need, as you quite rightly pointed out, was what we uncovered. So this was the bridge model. So we started talking about this. I started talking about this with training operators around about 4 years ago. And since I left the UK, it's continued those conversations and it's grown and evolved to the point now we have a partnership between Les Mills and Active IQ, where we have bridged the gap between Les Mills qualifications and the level 2 that's required. So one of the things that we often get asked is a Les Mills certification enough for someone to go in and teach group exercise? Now, there's a certain amount of work that we do behind the scenes within Les Mills that takes out the need for doing that. For example, all of our workouts are backed by science. All of our workouts are tried and tested. The choreography that we create, the choreography that we produce is done so that the instructors don't need to think about that, because we know once we deliver that, they can focus on skills such as communication, entertainment, member engagement, and focus more on those soft skills rather than thinking about what move comes next, what's the choreography and what's the sequencing. So we take a lot of that information out. But what we found is that's not enough to satisfy the level 2 criteria, because there's a certain need for anatomy and physiology, for sequencing, for other understanding. So in the past, back in the good old days, people used to come on Les Mills qualifications, go back to their club and teach, and we get receptionists, cleaners, we get instructors across all walks of life delivering great classes. Certain governance has limited us to do that. So we now have this need to bridge the gap, as we said. So we've worked with Active IQ and we've mapped our programming back to the necessity or need for some of those AMP areas and other associated qualifications to enable us to provide that qualification for those people. So the bridge is really for people that wouldn't necessarily go down the fitness route but have a passion for teaching classes. So quite often we'll get a receptionist. We'll get a receptionist that loves classes, that loves going to classes, wants to step in, wants to teach those classes, but has no need for a gym-based qualification. Similarly, personal trainers that are out there, or maybe aspiring personal trainers that think group training is the way to generate leads or prospects to build their personal training business, but don't want to necessarily go down that route. And the other one is for members. We get a lot of front row members that raise their hand and say, I'd love to teach a class, I'd love to do what you do, but I don't want to go through the full certification journey. I don't want to go through that qualification. I just want to teach Les Mills programming. So when we looked at it, we thought, how can we make this reality? How can we make this real for those people? So the bridge model is a streamlined pathway for aspiring group fitness instructors to gain the level 2 qualification, combining Active IQ's level 2 anatomy and physiology and a Les Mills training module. Okay, so they have to do both of these. They can attend our 2-day training, but they attend this as well. Yes, sir?
And EMD accept this? I'm just asking.
We are. The bridge that we are recommending to providers is a slightly different one, because there's a YMCA one as well. It's still 2 units.
Yes.
It's still anatomy and physiology, but then it's the principles group exercise as well.
Fine, didn't mean to create
There's no friction. We're all friends.
Away you go, mate.
We're
Away
all
you go.
absolutely friends.
There's one of our wards there. Isn't there?
Correct, yeah. So, yeah, Sarah, who's now...
So, they do anatomy and physiology
Yep.
at level 2.
Yes.
So that is assessed purely with the theory paper.
I will show you how...
Worksheets with
I will show you how it works in just a moment. You're killing my slides, man. Don't worry.
Because
So many questions. I love it.
Actually, this is the first session I've been to for a long time, but I have to think about it.
Don't worry.
Les Mills initial training.
Yes.
module,
Yep.
Briefly, sorry to take over the session.
No, it's good.
That's 2 days?
It's 2 days, yeah.
Lovely. And the initial training module, is that around a specific discipline, or does it have to be around body pump, or does it have to be around cycle?
It's around a program. So, for example, we would do a body pump initial 2-day training, either live or online. We have both variants available now. It is trainer facilitated, so it's not online learning, it's a facilitated journey. If it's live, it's face-to-face, obviously, and there will be workshops and activities that go on, whereas online, there'll be sessions delivered, step away, practice, reflect, come back, and we chunk it into 2 days. But it would be around a certain program or discipline.
Right.
So within our initial training...
Depends upon what the reception person
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Correct, whichever program. Say she was passionate or he was passionate around cycling. So they would do RPM, they would do that for 2 days, either online or in person. Just to give you a little more context, the initial training module that we cover at Les Mills covers what we call 5 key elements. We cover off choreography. So we give them the workout plans and the choreography and the music to deliver it. So we create the structure and the workout. That's refreshed every 3 months, but that's delivered and then we teach them that. We then go through technique. So for a body pump class, what are the movement patterns? What are the techniques that you would use? How you break them down and how you move effectively as an instructor so you can teach that to your participants. Then we go through coaching. How do you break it down? So what's the compulsory cues initially? What are the follow-up cues? Talk about how it feels. What are your motivational cues? How do you get people engaged? We then go through 2 modules which are enhanced as we go through the advanced journey, but the first one is connection. How you create connection and communicate, engagement, how you really communicate to different people in the room, and the last one being performance. How you create excitement and entertainment in the class, using the music, using the workout, using your voice, the highs, the lows. So we go through those 5 key elements. So we give them everything that they need to deliver that program. But what we don't cover off is in body pump, why are we squatting in the way that we're squatting? We might talk about the muscles that we use, but we don't talk about the progressions, regressions, adaptations that you would do for a gym qualification, for example.
Can I ask how that differs then, just out of curiosity?
Of course.
I did Les Mills like 20 years ago. So how does
Me too.
that differ, and how have you adapted it to map over to the requirements that Active IQ would want based on what you previously did in any like training sessions?
Nothing has actually changed. So what we've done is mapped what the gaps are towards the level 2, and Active IQ have provided the modules to map across those gaps, or to provide across those gaps.
Yeah, I'm just thinking now, when I signed the lap at level 2, not only is there A&P,
Yep.
but there are health and safety worksheets.
Yes.
There are customer care worksheets. There's a behaviour change worksheet that they have to do as a, whether they're gym or studio. Are they covering those here as well? Oh,
These are the units that they cover off.
health and wellbeing.
Okay, so the core components of the qualification for the bridge is Active IQ will walk through each of these 7 components. So they'll talk through skeletal system, neuromuscular system, cardiovascular system, energy system, and then it's health and well-being and components of fitness. So that is all covered off as part of the gap between Les Mills and the level 2 cert.
You've essentially pushed 2 units together, haven't you? Because it's elements of the principles of exercise, health and fitness, along with all of the learning outcomes from anatomy and physiology to create one big unit.
Correct, yeah. And that's what Active IQ have mapped together, pulled that content together. So how it works is learners book their initial training. So we speak to operators and say, you have a shortage of body pump instructors, put your receptionists through the training so they can book onto that training, and they book the bridge model through our portal called Les Mills Connect. Active IQ will host the qualification in a user-friendly e-learning platform with 60 hours of learning. And then learners complete these modules at their own pace with the support of our Les Mills trainer team. So we have mentors that would work with them and walk them through that process. Particularly with our online journey, we've really worked on developing our trainers to facilitate and bring people through that journey.
Are they required to complete everything before they're out teaching?
Would depend on the operator and their requirements, but we recommend that they do, but in some cases they wouldn't.
Are they still compliant with insurance then?
That's the reason why the insurers and the operator. So I don't know the definitive answer to that. I can't say yes or no, but it would depend on the operator, is the point.
Okay.
Go on.
What's your next slide? Spoil your fun.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's it. Go on. Go. Questions? Thinking.
Before, I'm a learner.
Yes.
And I approach a training provider,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called Studio Instructor now, is that correct?
Yeah, you've got different ones, haven't you? You've got group fitness training as well.
Right.
Group fitness training, studio instructor.
Am I boring you, mate?
No. I'm just seeing what time we've got because we've got loads of time left. So go.
Fine. I'm just getting it clear in my head.
Yeah, go on.
Please forgive me.
No, there's no forgiveness.
Simple man.
Carry on.
I approach a training provider, and
Yep.
let's say I do studio instructor.
Yep.
For that qualification, I understand, without Les Mills, yeah, for now, because I'm new to the industry, I don't know what a fantastic product you've got.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
For the assessment,
Mm-hmm.
I have to plan, teach, and evaluate that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have proven against criteria that I can plan my own session,
Yep.
deliver it, and evaluate it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I find the nirvana that is Les Mills,
Yep.
and I come to you, and then you guys give me a lot of those resources,
Yes.
which, like you said, helps me out,
Mm-hmm.
allows me to focus on the warm, fluffy stuff
Yep.
that drives them back.
Yep.
If I do it the other way, this way, when I pass this bridging model, I've not demonstrated that I can plan and deliver a session that's mine.
Correct.
There's a gap missing there, isn't there?
Correct. What we found though, most operators, where they just want to teach Les Mills programming.
Oh, okay.
So this is
This is not like I do it through you and this bridging model,
Oh.
and then someone says to me, "Oh, can you teach legs, bums, and tums?"
Yeah.
Or, as I prefer it, abs, arms, and assets.
Yeah, absolutely, lovely.
Right.
Abs, triple A, nice triple
Abs,
threat.
arms, and assets class.
Yeah.
You're going to come up with that, aren't you? I'm going to see abs, arms, and assets one, aren't I?
Just trademarked it. Yeah,
How am
carry
I,
on.
Keith Smith?
Keith Smith. Yeah, I would
Right,
absolutely
abs,
give you the
arms, and assets.
royalties for you.
Right, thank you. But they may perceive they can do that, but I'm just playing devil's advocate.
We're really clear about what
Okay,
this
I'm
enables them to do and what not to do.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah,
mate.
absolutely.
I'm just looking at it from different angles because I know when I talk to people about this, and I will go, that they're going to be the questions I
Yeah.
have. Like they could be teaching Les Mills, and someone says, "Oh, can you teach the legs, bums, and tums?" There's no plan.
Yep.
There's no pre-choreographed, and they've not had the experience in doing that to build their confidence.
Correct. Yeah, but conversely to that, one thing I didn't mention around our initial training, two of those elements around teach and assess, we do go through. Planning, not so much, because the choreography, the workout plan, everything is created for them. We give them those tools. We don't do the planning part, which is what we do, is we spend millions of dollars creating this content through music and choreography. But in terms of the assessment, we still have a rigorous certification process. After attending the 2 days, you still need to submit a video of tracks to be certified against. We then have a grade review process. So after a period of time, you can submit a video and be graded on a scale of 1 to 10, given a development plan and criteria. We have advanced training. So there's additional stuff there that we do around the assessment and the teaching. It isn't, though, the planning. But then we're really clear about this. You cannot go away from this and teach some derivative of conditioning class, the AAA, as you've just said. If you want to do that, then there's another cert or qualification to go down. But this is really for operators that are saying, we've got this pool of people that want to teach classes. They don't want to go down the level 2 route. How can they do this in a different way? There's a niche and a need there for this to happen, particularly with some of the big chains and big operators, and more so in the local authorities as well. There's a definite want and need for them to do this, but they need the qualification and the criteria to do that.
What's the price difference? For if you've got someone who's really got ETM, for example,
Yep.
on a training pump,
Yep.
or you've got someone who's doing this route in,
Yep.
what's the price difference?
I think I'll need to check this, but I think the bridge is £100
Additionally
to the Les Mills fee.
60
Yeah.
hours of learning.
Yeah.
And it's assessed in a theory paper.
Yes.
And if it's active IQ, then it's open book,
I think so. Yeah.
multiple choice.
I would think so. I'm not sure. I would not know.
So the one I've seen has the anatomy and physiology, but it has principles of exercise, health and fitness unit. So it's 2 units, but again used formats that are pre-choreographed generally, but we are, so I'm doing the quality assurance stuff, the EMD.
Well, you're important then, I've just ruined your session. I do apologise.
Not ruined it, you've enhanced it. You've enhanced it. It won't be the first time. Yeah, it won't be the first time.
But we're getting grants coming through the CPD recognition process, and we're looking at our scopes. So when they're coming to me and saying, right, our prerequisites are for this course, we can suggest to them that they do YMCA or Rectify Keys Bridge to get them up to the same level to be able to teach whatever that format is.
Yeah.
I can see that now.
Good.
It's lovely.
Okay. So, they're the components. This is what we recommend in terms of implementing into clubs. So, identify passionate members of staff, support them to enrol in the bridge model. We offer them mentoring training, and then they can be added to the timetable once they complete. So what we've tried to do is break it down and make it really simple and give them a learning pathway. And as we said right at the beginning, anyone that's age 16 or above can attend this and run through the system in a cost-effective, qualified or assured way is the word I'm looking for. And that's what we're trying to do, build the next generation of instructors to cope with the girth and the niche that's out there.
It's like, do you mind if I ask a few more questions?
Keith, you ask away.
Oh, the information you gave at the beginning was really interesting, like the number of instructors pre-COVID,
Yep.
the number of instructors now. You also mentioned, do you see as leaders in understanding group training,
Yep.
do you see the amount of instructors going up?
It's slowly going up.
And you've seen that over the last couple of years?
Last few years, it's coming back up again. So what we're seeing is a number of certifications increase. So we're still running certifications. So our program, when we say certifications, it could be the same number of instructors, but attending more certifications through. So we're seeing that increase.
Right.
We aren't seeing the growth of instructors as we'd like it to be, to the demand, but part of it is because of this need here. We see this as a potential gap.
And you're now global.
Yeah.
Is this a trend in all established?
Every mature market around the world is challenged with recruiting instructors because the traditional methods of recruitment are no longer there. Whereas they'd have instructors coming to them as operators, they're having to go out and fish for them.
But do you think there's that niche of, and I'm certainly noticing it, like I said, having been around for a little while, seeing that the younger instructors, so those 20-year-olds, have got more self-assurance and they don't feel that they need to rely on pre-choreographed formats because they're ballsy enough to go out on their own. And
Yeah, and we're seeing that occur. Time will tell, but we're seeing a drop-off, as in...
Yeah, there's longevity behind it.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, I've done that, I've tried that. It didn't. Whereas, we've got instructors that have been with us for 20 plus years and are still loyal and still passionate and still love what they're doing. Whereas the younger generation will go and try it, find out actually it's harder than it looks. It's not as easy as it looks. It's not a quick pathway in. Having to come up with the workout and plan every single week and create my own choreography and not getting paid to do that is difficult. I think the longevity part of it is there. But where we are seeing success is where you've got operators that are investing in their team, their staff to do it and giving them that career pathway to do it. We did it with Ballantyne last year where we took their in-house percentage. I think it was around about 20% in some regions, up to 50% by providing training for more staff and just giving them the option to go out and teach and giving them the tools. And it's increased the longevity.
Do you still do quarterlies?
Yeah, so quarterly workshops every quarter. We don't run them as live sessions anymore. They're run as online webinars and modules. We're bringing back more live experiences. So we run 4 big events a year where we've got workshops.
You used to do that lovely, because I used to work for Skills Active, didn't I?
Yep.
I came to evaluate a few.
Yep.
You see those lovely advanced teaching skills
Yep.
going?
We still do advanced training. Yep.
And that's face-to-face?
Some is face-to-face, but mostly is online now. Yeah. We're bringing back live face-to-face training though. There is a definite need and want for it. There's nothing beats being in person for 2 days, face-to-face, compared to online. The problem we've got is our satisfaction scores for online training were really high, so there wasn't that need to do it. But we're finding now more and more people want to return to the live experience and are willing to do it and travel for it now as well.
And how many of those advanced days would you do a year?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not sure what the UK numbers are anymore, but we run a number a month. I mean, we're still running a significant amount of online training and advanced days throughout the year. But the grade review process has enabled us to be more directed with coaching and more self-directed learning given now with the tools. So we've not only got the workshops, we've got an instructor app now where we can release content and training to our instructor community. There's new pieces of content going on every single month. And it's not just around our programming, it's about nutrition, health, well-being, psychology. There's other things that we produce constantly around those areas.
And last question, sorry.
Doesn't have to be the last, we've got time.
Globally,
Yeah.
what are the growth countries?
What, as in terms of emerging markets?
Emerging markets.
Well, US is still pretty big. The US is still seeing growth, although it's an established fitness market. India is becoming bigger and bigger. We're seeing more and more in Saudi, in Kuwait, in the Middle East countries because of the investment there, particularly with the change in Saudi and the investment into the Riyadh project.
I went out for a company to Saudi and I did a body pump class that was men only. That was quite strange.
Yeah, we still do it now. We've had to adapt our marketing. There's female only.
And I'll never forget, it was a male instructor and all males in the room, and you just forget that out then, that was the thing, and I still enjoyed it, and I made some friends.
You're the sort of bloke who would.
What they did, whether they agree with what they did or what they do is debatable, but
yeah.
So
Saudi's a really interesting one, and it is growing and it's evolving, and political biases aside, we ran our first male-female event in Saudi in November last year. It was the first one of any kind. Government officials turned up to shut it down. Yeah, when we ran it. But we'd already had approval from the powers that be of the Riyadh project to run this. So Les Mills Live Riyadh was the first non-gender specific event that we'd ever run. Yeah. There was 500 people in the same room, male and females, working out together. It's the first time they've experienced that.
I remember going out to some gyms out there, MMA gyms, and they would have to reverse a van up to the emergency exit to let some females in to train.
Yeah.
It was.
Culturally, it's very different. Yeah.
It was just so. Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer your question, yeah, Saudi is growing, Kuwait is growing, Dubai, America is. South Africa continues to evolve and change. I mean, where you've got countries that have a very low pay or the economy isn't great, fitness is still becoming valuable and offering those experiences. I mean, I've worked in South Africa where gym memberships were expensive in comparison, but they're packed. They're full of people that are attending. It's not just Virgin Active and Planet Fitness that are controlling it. There are people that are opening good quality gyms out there at affordable prices. China's an interesting market that continues to grow and evolve, although the fitness offering is different out there. Japan, spoke to the Japanese team this week. They're actually looking at, they said to me, we want to offer something for daycare centres. And I went, amazing. We've got this program called Born to Move, youth program. They went, no, daycare centres for adults. They drop ageing adults at daycare centres to be looked after. So how can you provide exercise programming for older adults in daycare centres? Go on.
Don't call it a boot camp, call it an UG camp. It's like a boot camp, it's soft camp. That's where you need to go. You can have that one.
He's full of the one-liners.
I'll teach a class and call it UG camp. It's like a boot camp but softer.
Brilliant, love it.
Interesting, yeah.
So I think every market is evolving and growing, different challenges, different demographic challenges, but I think there is a increase in wellness and activity across the world right now.
And last question, and I do apologise, and I will leave the room. There are large chains globally who are coming up with what they refer to as their own signature
programs, yeah.
How have you reflected on that?
So I could talk about from experience where large chains have created their signature programs and they launch really well, but where are they 3-5 years down the line? What's the relaunch plan? How are they maintaining momentum? How do they keep it going? It's one of the reasons why we've been so successful for, it's actually 57 years now.
Yeah, he was a discus thrower, wasn't he?
Yeah, in the Commonwealth Games. Correct. 1968 was the first time we launched our classes. But it's the quarterly release cycle, it's the constant reinvention, it's the every 3 months coming up with new content, new fresh content, adapting to trends that's kept us successful and relevant. And that's what we found with many operators. They invest in this initial product and then 3-5 years down the line, they can't invest in the next product. What's the new thing coming? So they invent something else, and it's constantly evolving and changing. Gymbox did it really well because they knew it was seasonal programming. They'd launch a series of programs, but they knew it was only for that season, and then they'd reinvent something else, and that would move away and go away forever. Whereas you've got other operators that have tried to create the same model, but it's the reinvention. And a lot of them have spoken to us and said, look, if we knew then what we know now, we would never have done it because of the hard work it takes to keep reinventing the content. So I'm a fan of proprietary programming. I think it gives something different, something unique, something fresh. We can provide something alongside that, and we can also help with that strategy. As long as we're getting people moving, as long as we're, our goal is for a fitter planet. As long as we're doing that and working with operators to achieve it, then continue.